Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mohan Law House and Commonwealth Lawyers Association, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you present here this evening. I also warmly welcome those joining us via live streaming of this program from across India and around the world. We are grateful for your virtual presence on this special occasion. Today's program marks the release of Silver Jubilee edition of the CLA Journal, commemorating 25 years of this contribution to legal scholarship and legal dialogue across Commonwealth jurisdictions. May I respectfully acknowledge the presence of our distinguished dignitaries on the dais. It is a privilege to have among us Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, former Judge Supreme Court of India and International Judge, Singapore International Commercial Court. Mr. Stephen Thiru, President, the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. He's a senior litigation lawyer and managing partner of Messrs in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We also have among us Dr. Venkat Iyer, Editor-in-Chief of the CLA Journal. Sir is a barrister and an academic based in Northern Ireland. Thank you all for joining us. We are also privileged to have among us Mr. R. Santanan Krishnan, Honorary Life President of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. We are grateful for his presence. I would also like to take a moment to welcome Mr. Vinay Ahuja, Managing Director of Mohan Law House, and thank him for his continued association. May I also acknowledge the presence of the respected senior academics, advocates, members of CLA who've joined us in person and also via live streaming. Mohan Law House is pleased to support the publication of the Silver Jubilee edition of the CLA Journal. We are honored by your presence and look forward to a meaningful and engaging program this evening. The Commonwealth Lawyers Association has played an integral role in strengthening professional ties across Commonwealth nations. The CLA Journal has been a key academic initiative providing a forum for legal writing and comparative law. It is also a platform for legal professionals to showcase new developments and to share views on topical issues of interest to fellow lawyers across Commonwealth nations. This Silver Jubilee edition reflects that journey and the journal's continued relevance. I now request Dr. Venkat Iyer, our Editor-in-Chief of the CLA Journal, to kindly address the gathering and speak about this special edition.
Thank you, Mani. And can I offer my greetings to all of you. I have to say I'm most indebted to, first of all, Vinay Ahuja and Mohan Law House for organizing this event. Secondly, also to my friend and colleague Stephen Thiru, who has come all the way from Malaysia. He's first a friend and only then a colleague. We have both worked together on this special issue, and Stephen was actually instrumental in putting the idea of a special issue in my mind. And then we got together, we approached Mohan Law House, and they were kind enough to sponsor the special issue. Now, just in terms of the journal, and I'm going to be very brief, the journal itself is, as the event suggests, 25 years old in its present form. The journal itself has been around for slightly longer than that, except that it became moribund for a short while, a few years. And then one of our other colleagues who is not in the room, Dr. Cyrus Das from Malaysia, actually was keen to revive the journal, and he asked me to be the editor, which I readily agreed to do. And then we started it in a new format, which is the format that the journal has at the moment. In terms of the contents of the journal, now you will probably all have a printed copy of it. We don't, unfortunately, print copies of every issue, mainly for reasons of cost and affordability. But on the occasions of the Commonwealth Law Conference, which happens every other year, we are lucky enough to get some sponsor who will underwrite the costs of printing. And so we did have printed copies distributed at the conferences. For the Silver Jubilee issue as well, we've had copies printed, which will be distributed in due course. The scope of the journal is quite wide and extensive. So it covers almost any branch of the law. I wouldn't look at it as an academic journal. So, for example, articles published in the Commonwealth Lawyer are not peer-reviewed. So they may not have an attraction for those in academia seeking promotion or other preferment. I used to edit another journal which was precisely that, and which of course attracted a lot of academic contributions. But having said that, I still get many academic articles in addition to articles by practitioners. And as someone who is both an academic and a practitioner myself, I encourage that a mix of articles. So what is my purpose in saying all that? It is essentially to invite all of you, any of you, to consider writing for the journal. I'll be very happy to receive articles. We don't have too many articles from South Asia, and so there's a particular reason why I'm keen to encourage articles from this part of the world. In keeping with what I said at the beginning, I think I shouldn't detain you any longer because there are a couple of other speeches to come. So can I thank you all again and hand you all back to Amani.
Thank you, Dr. Iyer. That was really insightful. I now invite Mr. Stephen Thiru, President of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, to please kindly address the audience.
Thank you, Amani. Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, former Justice of the Supreme Court of India, Mr. Santan Krishnan, Life President of the CLA, Dr. Venkat Iyer, Editor-in-Chief of the Commonwealth Lawyers Journal, Mr. Vinay Ahuja, the Managing Director and Co-Founder of Mohan Law House, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate the Silver Jubilee edition of the Commonwealth Lawyer, a journal that has not only chronicled CLA's shared legal journeys, but has in many ways helped shape them. What follows in this speech, and I wish to read from it, is really a personal journal, or personal journey rather, of mine with this journal, which came to me first sometime in the late 90s when we had this Commonwealth Law Conference in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Over the past quarter century, the Commonwealth Lawyer has stood as a steadfast intellectual companion to lawyers across continents, jurisdictions, and generations. In a profession defined by careful reading, deliberate reflection, reasoned argument, the journal has consistently reminded us that what we read matters just as much as how much we read. A look through its pages reveals far more than simply a record of legal developments. What emerges is a living conversation across borders, a dialogue amongst practitioners, judges, academics, and students who may never meet in person, yet grapple with the same questions of justice, the rule of law, and constitutionalism. The journal makes tangible the reality that although we practice in different lands, we are firmly on the same page and closely united by shared traditions, methods of reasoning, and professional ideals. Ladies and gentlemen, this achievement has not happened by accident. The Commonwealth Lawyer began modestly in the mid-1980s, first published under the presidency of our president then, Lawrence Henry Southwick, QC, with Campbell McLachlan as his inaugural editor. In a tribute published in this edition, the CLA 6th president, mentioned by Dr. Venkat just now, Dr. Cyrus Das, reminds us that even in its earliest A4 semi-psycho-style form, I don't know how many of us remember that, the journal already possessed what truly mattered: incisive content, intellectual rigor, and a reach that spanned the Commonwealth. From those humble beginnings, it has grown into what Dr. Das rightly describes as the most widely read legal periodical in the Commonwealth, now enjoying an even broader audience digitally. This transformation is inseparable from the extraordinary stewardship of its long-standing and tireless editor-in-chief, Dr. Venkat Iyer. Appointed in 1999 at the invitation of Dr. Das, Dr. Iyer has, over the last 25 years, brought unwavering dedication, meticulous judgment, and scholarly precision to the journal. It is therefore fitting to echo a warm sentiment expressed in the Silver Jubilee edition by Dr. Karen Brewer, who had herself helmed the publication prior to Dr. Iyer's appointment. And I quote, she says, "Firstly, congratulations to Venkat Iyer as the longest serving editor of the Commonwealth Lawyer," unquote. Those simple words encapsulate an extraordinary contribution that has ensured the journal remains not merely relevant, but truly indispensable. Under Dr. Iyer's editorship, the journal has evolved in form while remaining true to its spirit. From hard copy editions, mailed from London, to today's instantly accessible digital format, it has maintained its commitment to quality, relevance, and practical significance. Its case notes, book reviews, and scholarly commentary do more than inform. They guide readers, helping them navigate an increasingly complex and ever-expanding sea of legal material with discernment and purpose. As we reflect on this milestone, ladies and gentlemen, it is also an opportune moment to reflect on who we are as a professional community. Over the past 25 years, we have consistently, collectively, and deliberately engaged with the common law, the principles, the evolution, innovations, and enduring capacity to meet new challenges. In essence, we are a common law lawyers association. This does not diminish the richness of our diversity, rather it gives it coherence. Within the pages of the Commonwealth Lawyer, the perspective of a constitutional scholar in Kuala Lumpur may resonate with a practitioner in the Caribbean, just as a barrister in Nairobi may recognize familiar concerns in writing of a solicitor in London. The journal has become a shared space where this vast fellowship meets, not in a conference hall, but through insights, discourse, and communal reflection. Tonight we celebrate not only longevity, but meaningful purpose. The Commonwealth Lawyer has steadily fostered dialogue, sharpened reasoning, nurtured a sense of professional kinship that transcends geography. It continually reminds us of an essential aspect of our chosen vocation: to think carefully, to read with considered judgment, and to contribute in our own ways to the development of the common law. As we look ahead, may the journal continue to grow, flourish, enlighten, and most importantly, inspire. Happy 25th anniversary to the Commonwealth Lawyer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thiru. We wish the same for the journal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to invite our chief guest, Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, former judge of the Supreme Court of India, to address the gathering.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening to all of you. Mr. Stephen, Dr. Venkat Iyer, Mr. Santhanam, Mr. Gupta is sitting here, Mr. Vinay Ahuja, and all other very, very familiar faces. And I really love these occasions that when we come, we are able to catch up with each other after I demitted office in the Supreme Court. Naturally, I can't go back now, at least neither in the capacity of a lawyer nor in the capacity of a judge. So thanks for inviting me on this very, very, I would say, significant function. And as both Venkat and Stephen have told, not only about CLA, but about this journal also, and the reputation which it carries. And it's really a great occasion that it is now celebrating its Silver Jubilee. Venkat said that when we are all, in this Commonwealth Lawyers Association, and all these Commonwealth countries are on the same page and connected by common traditions. And he actually evolved this also to some extent. And therefore, I think that's the from where I pick in my address, and say the significance of the common law, and in last few centuries, and particularly in today's world, and therefore it will then resonate with the ideals of CLA and the purpose behind this particular journal. You see, this of course it all started with the common law. It's every one of us knows it. What is given to us by British? It is British regime. Where it developed, but then it was adopted by, maybe initially thrusted by the Britishers wherever they ruled, and of course. It is now a common law system which is in more than 100 countries all over the world. And another important feature which remains is that in spite of, except few colonies today, everybody is an independent, and all independent nations still agreed, and it was a choice given to them, and then they thoughtfully chose, including India, Malaysia, and all other countries, that we will continue to be governed by common law system, and our legal systems are based on that. And I would say that there are some very peculiar and very interesting features of common law, which are really relevant and which are very, very important. And on that, the entire I would say edifice of democracy and constitutionalism is based upon. You see, we know in England there is no written constitution. Notwithstanding that we have in India a written constitution, likewise in most of the Commonwealth countries today have the constitution, which imbibes some ethos, some principles, etc. But even in the absence of a written constitution, the legal and political system in England and the kind of principles which were developed from time to time in the working of the political order, in the working of their legal system, and the significant contribution of the judges in developing common law, they are really, really astounding and path-breaking. If I may say so, these are, we can call, first thing which is most important is that the society or the system or the governance has to be by rule of law. And rule of law in distinction or in contradistinction to the rule by men. And what it emphasizes is that it is the law which is supreme and not the persons who may be occupying any position in the government or in the hierarchy in a particular structure or a particular nation, but it is the law which is the supreme. And that is why in India also we say our constitution is the Grundnorm, it is the supreme law, and other laws have also to play their significant role in the governance of the society. So rule of law and giving of this managing the governance with the rule of law, it becomes very, very important. And it, I mean, from that it follows that, look, in these democracies, we have limited government. That is government which is ruled by law, and not the government which can has it elected government. Doesn't mean that when the elections take place and majority wins, and even if the majority comes into power, they don't have any right to govern in any manner they want, and they have to govern the nation in accordance with rule of law. And another aspect which is very, very important of common law is that separation of powers, which is in our constitution, and civil liberties as well as rights given to ethnic minorities, etc. The origin and growth as well as development of common law principles by judges, everybody knows. It is in the, whether it is law of equities or the development of tort principles in tort law, everybody knows that. And even and all this has happened without any statutory provisions, and this has been, and these are the bedrock of what the common laws are. And therefore, even after independence, all those countries, common law countries, who have come out with their written constitutions, and particularly I can say so in the context of our Indian constitution, we in here, or we have imbibed in that the principles of constitutionalism. I may say that constitution is different from inheriting or in that imbibing or incorporating the principles of constitutionalism. And constitutionalism says all this which is there, that rule of law, limited governance, separation of powers, and rights given to the ethnic minorities, etc. Even if the majority rules, that doesn't mean that the minority or the people in minority have no voice. They have their voice also. So therefore, it respects the legal norms and rules, human rights like freedom of speech, right of equality, right to life and liberty, ensuring certain rights to ethnic and other minorities, adhering to the principles of democracy, thereby giving voice to the opposition, right to defend, etc. So these are the positive principles of constitutionalism which our constitution incorporates, and which are, I think, in most of the constitutions as well. And therefore, and another significant contribution of the common law is the in the administrative law, if I may say so, the principles of judicial review of administrative action, which have been developed by the judges from time to time, that how to, in order to have rule of law and limited government, and any decision of the government, since it is subject to judicial review, it is the judges who have the final say. But then how to review those decisions when such a decision is challenged in the court of law, and therefore the going by the testing, rather I would say, the decisions, executive decisions on the touchstone of principles of natural justice, whether they were followed or not, the principles of proportionality, irrationality, procedural impropriety, mala fides, failing to act, etc. So these are all the principles which are again developed in common law, and which are now the bedrock of our administrative law. And these are incorporated in our laws, and are very frequently followed by the constitutional courts in all these countries, common law countries. And another significant contribution, I would say, although it's a part of that, is the creation of writ remedies. That when we talk of certiorari, we talk of mandamus, we talk of prohibition, etc. What kind of relief is warranted in a particular case. So this is what and because of these attributes, I think, as I say, that in spite of the fact that most of the countries are now independent and have their own governance, they could go in their own way, but they are, this is the bonding between them, and this is the peculiar features or unique features of the common law. in it is in Canada. So it is in Canada. So Halifax, Canada. So therefore, there are, there's still a bonding, Commonwealth bonding is still there, and everybody cherishes the good attributes of this. And it is in this context when we see that the judges and lawyers have to ensure that the rule of law is established in most of these countries. And in that context, creation of your or establishment of your Commonwealth Law Association or Lawyers Association is a very, very significant step. And Mr. Stephen and Mr. Venkat, I really congratulate you, and all others congratulate you to her, and Mr. Santhanam also, who's I'm just not today only came to know is the life president. And so this is one aspect. And then coming to this journal, and as I have seen, I was given this, of course I would not say much on that, as Dr. Venkat Iyer has already mentioned you about that, but this, I feel the this commemorative journal on completing 25 years is really a milestone. And as I could go through it hurriedly, of course I would like to read all these articles which are published here, and they are really is a work of love, work of labor. I find that this, like Indian Constitution has completed 75 years, so there's a article by Mr. Sudesh Pai, who is a very celebrated lawyer in Bangalore, senior lawyer, constitutional lawyer also, and he's also a jurist like Dr. Venkat Iyer. So he has written this article on 75 years of the Supreme Court of India. There's a lot of publications on completing 75 years, and many books have also come, but I have read his other articles also on this occasion. And then the issue like climate injustice is touched upon in one of the articles. There's the role of solidarity in addressing this, and because these are the issues which are global issues nowadays, and these they are not confined to any geographical limits, but have they are global issues, as I said. And so likewise there are other articles, the contract law in Malaysia, artificial intelligence we are hearing, which are again important topics. But what I want to end it, so therefore my congratulations to all of you, and I would say keep doing this work. Dr. Venkat Iyer said that I will ask the academicians also and practitioners also to contribute. You did not say the judges, otherwise I will also contribute.
You are very welcome.
But anyway, I can still contribute, thinking that I was a lawyer before I became judge, and whether a lawyer becomes judge, but he comes back, and a lawyer, he or she always remains lawyer, and it is going to any other field for some time and then coming back home, if I may say so. But I want to end with this, that look, what has happened in 1986, your CLA was, I think, established, as I have seen. Two things which were important in that era. Number one was, of course, this about 40 years of UN, because I think UN was established in 1946. And I still remember at that time, along with my practice, I was teaching in Delhi University Law School, and we had celebrated 40 years of UN. And that was the time when UN and various other limbs of UN, whether the branches of UN or other establishments under UN, were having really good say in the world, and particularly rule of law in the world, and how the world is to be managed. And all those institutions, including UN, carried good reputation and good authority as well. The nations would listen to that. That was one very, very important, and for universalization of human rights, and not only that, but for universalization of even legal order, I would say, and in many respects. And this goes to the second aspect of in 1986, that the world was ushering towards globalization and liberalization. Of course, it had already started sometime in 60s and 70s. India, but 80s it was had assumed prime importance. Of course, India joined in 1991 this liberalization movement, but then that had led to, again, was leading to an international order. There was lot of development in principles of international law. With liberalization, it's not only that what we call another thing which was more important thing was that convergence of laws, that many issues, whether it is taxation, whether it is intellectual property, or whether it is commercial matters, since they had trans-border ramification, so we needed that kind of international order, and there were many principles, etc., which were developed and were developing, and most of the countries, and which India also did, had brought their many laws at par with international laws. Like, Indian Arbitration and Conciliation Act is on the UNCITRAL model, and UNCITRAL so comes with UNCITRAL, WTO, WIPO, coming with these are international bodies which were coming out with model laws, and most of the countries were adopting it with some changes which suited according to their local requirements. And so therefore those were the days. But see today, in last few years, now what is happening? Because of wars and the geopolitics where it is going, and it's a war. There are two types of wars, I am saying. One, yes, what is happening in between Russia and Ukraine on the one hand, and Israel. Of course, Israel has now tamed, but then what happens in Venezuela a couple of weeks ago, or rather 1 week ago only, is one aspect, and other war, the tariff war, which has started and which has shaken the entire world. And and because of some leaders in some of the countries who are very, very powerful, the geopolitics have totally changed, and the existence and relevance of most of these international bodies like UN is under threat. This should not happen to Commonwealth. That is what my message today is. And therefore, we have now these challenges of geopolitics giving jolt to international order, and what the CLA can do in this behalf by keeping the this Commonwealth countries, or these insofar as international order is concerned, to re-establish the rule of law at international level. This becomes very, very important duty of CLA, and I will say that yes, your next edition of the journal should then involve or should contain articles of this nature, which would be very, very relevant for the world at large. So with that, that's only going to be my message. And I hope another thing which again I say that, yeah, please in future keep at least telling me. I will contribute surely, but I should also get the information about what is happening in your CLA and what are the activities. Santhanam is very a dear friend, and we remain in touch. I hope that he'll keep me in touch with your activities also. So all the best, and I hope that you succeed in your mission. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We all indeed wish that world peace is restored soon. May I now request Mr. Vinay Ahuja to join the dignitaries on the dais for the formal release of the Silver Jubilee edition of the CLA Journal.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Actually, I published quite a few of these in Indian journals. So I can send you some old copies.
That doesn't light it.
Thank you all. On behalf of Mohan Law House Publishing, I would like to express our sincere thanks to everyone who made this evening possible. We are grateful to Honorable former Justice A.K. Sikri for his time, presence and guidance. Our thanks to Mr. Stephen Thiru, President of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, who flew all the way from Kuala Lumpur this morning. And to Dr. Venkat Iyer, Editor-in-Chief of the CLA Journal, who came from Belfast for his words and continued association. We also thank Mr. R. Santanan Krishnan for his presence and continued support. Thank you to Mr. Vinay Ahuja, Managing Director of Mohan Law House, and to all our distinguished guests, respected judges, advocates, academicians, CLA members, and members of the legal fraternity for joining us today. I would now invite all our guests to kindly join us for high tea, and the arrangement has been done outside. Thank you.